Hi, I'm Coleen Sews and Chats, and I'm going to be finishing up some Halloween projects. Come join me. I don't know what to call this, so I'm calling it Putting Sashing on Log Cabin Style, because I'm going in log cabin style around the blocks I've made. This is part 2. Either I have integrated it into part 1, or I've started a new video. Either way, this is part 2. I am laying my blocks on top of my sashing strip and chain piecing them on top of that strip. I'm back to putting my blocks on top, which I stopped doing in the last video, so I can see those points and hopefully not lose them. Line them up with my presser foot, line my fabrics up, right sides together, run down, keep an eye on where those intersections of those threads meet, where my points are, and try to keep my needle either right on that or just to the right of it when I'm eyeballing this. You can draw a line across them and follow them that way. There's that intersection I'm talking about. There's 3 on this one. But I'm just going to eyeball it. A line is just an extra step I'm not willing to do right now. Sometimes I feel like it, and sometimes I don't. This time, clearly I didn't. And if we haven't met, I'm just a little bit goofy. I realized in the last video I said crazy a lot. My husband jokes that I'm just crazy, sarcastically saying crazy because I say it, and well, I think that's one of the nicer words we could use. But here's all the blocks, and I'm still trying to figure out if I want the 1.5 inch or the 2.5 inch to put around these because they're a different size, and I'm going with 1.5 inch. I had already cut this to 2.5 inches. I'm just going to cut it down to the 1.5 inch. And I did it again. I'm back to putting the sashing on the top so I can't see my points. I'm going to figure out why I do that. I'm not going to figure out why I do that. And I ran out of sashing because I am cutting it as I go and piecing it end to end. Yeah, and this, I think this is side 2 if I haven't said it already. And there's my seam trying to flip, and I put it back where it needs to go with my knot stiletto. Got that out in the first try that time. Stiletto is a hard word. And I'm just going to get all this sashing on. Now I'm giving it a finger press, and I'm going to square up those edges. Once I figure out how to get this block on the table so I can reach the edges. And when I'm doing this and I have the 2 seams to follow, I line it up on both seams. This has 1 seam, so I'm just using the last one I put on as my guide for my ruler. See that side, the 2 orange sides where they meet in that squared corner? That's what I'm using on my ruler. No, I am not this fast. I sped it up for time's sake because I think this was like 2 hours or so before I edited it down. And I needed more of the purple strips, and I have a 10-inch layer cake I cut these from, and I'm sorry about the camera. Autofocus. Can't decide what it wants to focus on when there's this much going on the table. I cut these from a layer cake, and then I just piece them together end to end. So I have 1 long strip, and this is the 3rd side of the log cabin style sashing. Seriously, I don't know what to call it. Somebody probably knows exactly the correct term for this. Leave it in the comments. This may go up as a premiere. Put it in the chat. And maybe I'll remember and correct it. I probably I'm not going to commit to remembering. Just asking too much of me, people. I'm playing. Lining my fabrics up, right sides together, using my 1/4 inch because the 1/4 inch on this brother is accurate. And starting the 4th side. And at this point, I'm thinking the song Take the Tractor Another Round. That song played nonstop on the radio during the ice storm. Sorry, I keep clicking. During the ice storm of 2007, when we didn't have electricity, but we had batteries in the radio for a week, Take the Tractor Another Round played nonstop. I think I've been programmed to think of that song now. Oh, goodness. The squirrels that go through my mind. I know I'm not alone. We all have squirrels. During lives, it's hard to control them. During pre-records, it's a little bit easier. Now I'm taking this over to my couch to give it a finger press because they get too big for me to do over on that little table comfortably. And we want to be comfortable when we're working. And this table is low enough that I get a good angle. I did try switching tables, that didn't work because the other table was actually only 2 or 3 inches higher, but that was enough that it twisted my shoulder and my neck to try to get leverage on the blade. It doesn't take a lot of leverage, but you do need some leverage. It's very hard to cut straight across with no leverage. Maybe I just like the word leverage right now. I don't know. Here I'm showing how I sew some of those strips together because I just had to cut more. This is actually probably faster than measuring all of them and cutting once because I can do it as I have time. And if I write down measurements, I'm going to forget what I wrote them down for and where I stopped and all that good stuff. Post-it notes are my best friend though. And I'm lifting these up when I put them under the presser foot. I lift the presser foot up so I can see that my fabric has gotten all the way past that needle. And I just butt the next one up to the needle and let her run. I just had a lot of coffee. Expect odd things. I know what you're thinking, Coleen. We always expect odd things from you. But that's why we love you. That's why you tolerate me, and I really appreciate it. Oh, you guys are great. See, even when you're not here, it doesn't matter. It's like I'm talking to you. Okay, let's go on a finger press. Now I'm lining up the seams on my ruler. I've got 2 seams I can follow. The purple one, which doesn't quite look as straight as the orange one, so I'm going to go with the orange one. Like I said, these are going to be squared up in the end, and it's not going to be noticeable. Done is definitely better than perfect. Now, if you want perfect, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that. Don't go hating on me. We all do what we can do, and we need to be happy in what we can do. Because, you know, the alternative is being miserable. So even if you can't do things the way everybody else does, I haven't seen anybody sit at their couch and cut and iron their fabrics. That's okay with me because it works for me. You have to adjust, and I know there's ladies out there that have told me they have the same kind of adjustments, putting an ironing board on a table or a stool and having to do it. So we all adjust to what works for us and makes it comfortable so we can enjoy what we do. But I'm glad we can do that. It was hard finding something that I could do when my back went out that didn't cause complete chaos for my mind. And I'm giving these a finger press. Look at that squirrel. Okay, I'm giving these a finger press and trimming them up, lining them up the seam with my ruler. And back to what I was saying, I did scrapbooking for many years until my trimmers took over and I couldn't hold the camera still to save my life. It was very frustrating. And scrapbooking, I would get all these little pieces out and then put all the little pieces up because we didn't have an extra room for it or anything. It all came in the living room. And my mind does not like having that out 24/7. It's just chaos. I wish I could have. It would have been much easier to bring everything out and leave it there until I'm done. And this is more sashing. I wound it on a little piece of cardboard just to keep it tidy and out of the way until I needed it. That piece of cardboard is about 3 inches by 6 inches. Worked great. In fact, now I'm going to use that all the time. That particular piece of cardboard came from Walmart on some fabric that I had gotten there. And we're on side 3. Yes, we're on side 3. I got kind of chatty and off track. Sorry. Sewing's a little bit easier when you can leave everything out, but it's not so many tiny pieces as scrapbooking. At least not the way I'm doing it. We've got side 3 on. Yay! And we're going over to the couch to finger press and cut because either my back has decided it doesn't want to sit at that chair anymore, or they are too big for that table. And I'm thinking this time they were just too big for that table. Lining up my seams with my Missouri Star Quilt Company ruler. That's the name of it. I know where I got. Actually, these came from Amazon. I have a 10-inch one that I actually got from Missouri Star, but they're on Amazon. Missouri Star, it says Missouri Star is selling them. When you buy them, it says that's who you're buying them from on Amazon. They didn't have this set in their store, or I would have just bought it from their site. No, I am not an affiliate. No, I am not doing a promotion, paid or otherwise. Just my opinion. This is what I'm using. This is what I'm sharing. Again, standard YouTube disclaimer inserted here. I don't actually insert the disclaimer. It's just me saying that this isn't affiliate or anything else. And back to the cutting as we go. That first piece was not cut to the right size. Why? Because I did not measure twice and cut once. Distractions. Luckily, I have enough fabric that it's fine. I just recut it and I save that in my scraps for either something else, or I'll cut it down if I decide to do some 1.5 inch strips. I don't know, but I saved it for later. And putting the last side on of these blocks. Yay! I didn't count or know how many more blocks we had to go. I think after these I have 2 more blocks. They were the largest blocks and I was trying to see what I was going to need for them size wise after I got all of these done. And spoiler alert, I trimmed up every one of those blocks and forgot to hit record. And I was nailing it, ladies and gentlemen. I had the camera pointed right. I had the pointing to all the little marks on my ruler, how I was doing it, how I was mathing it. Oh, I nailed it until I looked over and saw there was no record pressed. It's a tragedy. You just don't know. All those blocks squared up so pretty and not a single clip of it. The last 2 blocks I actually get clips of squaring them up. I think, I hope, I may be lying. You never know. But I've finger pressed these and I am cutting them apart, and we are almost done with this section. I think another 3 minutes in this part. And then I will either say goodbye and I'll see you later. Have a great day. Or I will start the next clip right after this. Either way, I'm going to leave my little cards in there that say, hey, hi, I'm Coleen Sews and Chats. Because I'm a dork. And I always feel like I should apologize to everyone by the time I'm done doing these. I'm sorry. Okay, they are getting sprayed and ironed. Yay for that. Looks like I made it that far. And when I'm ironing these, I'm starting in the middle. Now, I know I've seen Donna Jordan at Jordan Fabrics show ironing from the center and then out to kind of help keep them square. I don't know if that's why I do it or if it just made sense. I'm sure I've watched enough of her that that's where I got it from. Not going to take credit for something I didn't think of. But they do iron easier because you're not going against the seams. If I was trying to come in from the sides, I'm going against the way the seams are laying. And this was just a lot easier. And in my misting bottle, I have Mary Ellen's Best Press mixed 50-50 with water because I'm cheap. And it works for me. It's not a... I guess it depends on the stiffness of your fabric, how you like the stiffness of your fabric, if you'd want to do that. And when I run out of this, I'm going to try to use the, I think it's called Stay Flow, Melissa at Practically Creative uses. And I've seen other people use it too. She's the first one that said anything about it, so she's getting the credit today. I'm going to try that when I run out of my Mary Ellen's Best Press because it's cheaper. And how do you live on a budget? You just live within your means. Cheaper is good. I've got all these ironed out. I could have told you what all of these blocks were, but no, I just had to talk right through them. At some point, I will try to put the names of all these blocks in. Again, there are videos up. I'll put links underneath if I remember to. Otherwise, sorry about that. But just in case this is the end, I'm going to say thank you for joining me and take care. There is at least one more part, maybe two. Let's see if we can get it done.